Well, howdy there, Internet students. If you're watching this, then you're seeking to retake Objective 6.1a. Okay, so you need to know the difference between rational and irrational numbers. Let's define them real quickly. A rational number is any number that can be written as a fraction, a over b, where a and b are integers, or whole numbers. So if it can be written as a fraction, it's definitely a rational number. Let's just say a and b are whole. They can be negative wholes also, which are integers. Okay, irrationals cannot be written as a fraction. And in fact, we're gonna look at their decimals to help us determine for sure. Irrationals cannot be written like a fraction. So if you look at numbers like on your calculator, like the square root of, say, 45, notice that the number goes on forever and ever and there's absolutely no pattern. That's an irrational number. Okay? Where if you do like the square root of, say, 6.25, the number ends. That's a rational number. So let's add to this, and I'll put it in red here. Rational number, rational decimals end or repeat in a pattern. Irrational decimals never end and are random. All right, so we're going to do this first problem here, and we're going to look at our calculator to help us. We're going to do the square root of 289, and that equals 17. So since that ends as a decimal number, we're going to say that that's rational. All right. All right, moving on here. So you have to finish up the rest of those problems. Make sure you include the notes so I know that you're watching this video lesson. Okay, number 2, we're going to look at that and let our calculator help us. And looking at that number, it appears that the decimal number never ends and is very random. It doesn't repeat. So we're going to say that this number is irrational. And we're going to say that our reason for saying that is it's a never-ending non-repeating decimal. Now, if we would have said it's irrational, then we would have noticed that it's an ending decimal or a repeating decimal. Okay, so you guys you're going to finish those up. All right, let's do the square root of 63 minus the square root of 28. I'm going to use my other calculator for that. All right, so the square root of 63. The reason I'm using this calculator is so I can show you this. If you don't press the right arrow right now, it'll be stuck under the square root and you won't get this expression, so be careful of that. And then we're going to do the square root of 28. And since the number goes all the way to the edge of the screen and the digits appear random, we're going to say that this is an irrational number. All right, you can go ahead and do those. Number 4 says, does the radical expression below represent a rational or irrational? If it's rational, write it as the ratio of 2 integers. Again, be careful how you do this on your calculator. Make sure that after you do the square root of 2, you press the right arrow to get out of there, and then multiply by the square root of 18. and that equals 6. So that's a rational number. It ends. And now it says if it's irrational, explain how you know. If it's rational, prove it by writing it as a ratio of 2 integers. So just put 1 underneath that. Okay, like if it was 2.5 and you wanted to write that as the ratio of 2 integers, that's just change it to a fraction. So on your calculator, you could do that by just entering the number that you want to change to a fraction. Press math, and number 1 is fraction. Enter. So 5/2. Now I've written it as the ratio of 2 integers. All right, go ahead and finish those up and send me a nice clear photo of your work. And I'll check it out, and if it looks good, you can do the retake. Talk to you later.